And here we are again, ladies and gentlemen, or should I say solo viewer right now for episode 5. We mean it this time of Cold Blooded After Dark. That's right, guys. We didn't get our shit together last week, but we got it together this week, at least enough to show up at the same time, at the same place. So here we are, everybody, or every person. Cold Blooded After Dark, episode 5. Now we're going to talk about, on this episode, what life's going to be like for Raffi in prison, amongst a few other things, probably. Raffi, how are you doing?
Well, right now I have my ankle monitor, so I can't leave the perimeter of the house, but at least I have my snakes, right? So living
For
the
the time
dream.
being.
I got rid of all the soaps of bar, like the bar of soaps in the house, so I don't have to worry about that. Like
Well,
no
you know
bars of.
that liquid soap is can be a bit of a lubricant. So just keep that in mind when you're showering with the masses there in the maximum security prison that they put ball python smugglers.
Exactly. I don't know. I'll have to get from all the money that I made smuggling ball pythons. I can afford a good lawyer, so hopefully I don't have to go there.
I'm surprised that you can afford anything with all the money that you've made from smuggling ball pythons. So, so let's recap a little bit. So you went on my channel, my content last week to tell everybody straight dope on what happened. Anything new since then? I mean, has DHS left you alone or whoever they've transferred it
No,
to?
they never contact me again. The funny story was I was watching Billy's episode today. I couldn't watch live yesterday, and he was talking about the inspection that he had like in his house, his new facility, and the inspectors knew about the story in Canada. So
Oh,
he's like,
really?
oh, like he was like, oh, so we heard what happened with your buddy and in with the Mexico border, and it was like, oh God, now it's international news. So, but luckily, I think it was as I told people, like I got a lemon and I made lemonade, right? So
Yeah.
basically I made like I had some fun, laugh with some friends. Even at the office, I sent the reels that I made and stuff, and we were like laughing about it. But I got worse news, which was the Partho clutch. So after that, I could have some slack cut, but nope. So one of my most anticipated pairings was a Partho clutch,
Yeah.
which happens is the third time that happened to me. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you deserve it. So, I mean, that's just how it goes. But
I can't deny that, but
back to the smuggling. Can you get any of the snakes back? Like, what's going on with the snakes?
I tried because DHS is not involved with it. Basically, they have different departments that take care. Like
Right.
DHS takes care of the criminal part of it, and animal wildlife is the one that has the possession of the animals. Whoever took them. I'm still trying, but I don't see anything coming out of that, and it scares me a little bit because I don't know where the snakes are. So
Yeah. I mean, how are they being kept now? They're not still in the bags, are they? I mean, I don't think
no,
they
no,
would be there.
I think they're in a good place. I guess that they have like breeders or rescues that would take care of them. But what I'm afraid of, like how many animals? Usually rescues, you got really pretty sick animals that came from horrible situations, and then they put every animal in quarantine in the same place. So I don't know if I want that risk for my animals. Like I could be risking like Nido, and
Yeah.
so I don't think if I had a bigger facility, I would probably do it and put it in a different place and just treat it as a separate facility. But
Right.
I wouldn't. You have too many things that can go wrong, and
Yeah.
I can't risk my animals. Unfortunately, I had the idea of doing a actually doing an auction of all of the animals and donate all the proceeds to a good cause or something like that. Because I mean, I've been paid, so I don't need that money.
Right.
But in order to do that, I'll have to put the animals in quarantine for at least 3 months, because I wouldn't just be like turning my back and just like turning back and just like sending the animals to people not knowing if they have something. So it will be a long process. So
That's interesting. I wonder. So there's a place in Boise that Motor City Morphs. Thanks for chiming in. How's it going? We're doing well. I'm doing a
so
little better
man.
than Raffi. There's a place in Boise, a reptile store that's getting a huge shipment of snakes. I wonder if that, I just wonder if that has anything to do with that. Probably not, but I'd be curious
I
to
think it would be
ask them
too
when I go out
far.
there.
That they probably found someone in Texas.
Yeah,
They don't want to. They're not going to be shipping animals. I would think. I don't know, because it's a lot. If you think about it, for a rescue, it's a lot to take, because they had two extra animals. I don't know who those animals were from, but they
okay,
had two animals that were not mine.
right.
So basically, they have to have placed like 39 tubs,
Yeah,
and I don't think a lot of people would have that, especially rescues that have limited resources. And
I got you. So, as far as making lemonade out of lemons, what are anything positive come of this? Have you had more inquiries? Have you had more
oh,
interest, more
it
communication,
was
info?
actually 99% positive, like, because most people knew me, so they reached out to me saying I didn't think that you had anything done with this. People
Right.
making me aware of the situation. I have a bigger following now. Not that I have a huge following, because I'm not much into Instagram. I know I have to be better, but so most of it was positive. We had fun. I had fun, like, making those videos and stuff. Some laughs and bringing awareness. Yes.
Yeah. This is not AI, folks. This is real. This was a picture taken by Border Patrol. This was actually on their website.
And I actually brand my that's how I ship the snakes, in like cardboard boxes inside of bags.
Yeah.
I just like put them, and I brand the inside of the box too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we thought that Raffi was on a secret mission for good, but turns out he was a criminal all along. Look at
Exactly. I
those
was trying to
eyes.
hide.
Look at those eyes. That right there, you are a criminal. Period. You are
Talking
breaking the
about
law right there. I can tell.
talking about Mortal Kombat. I was literally Sub Zero in there.
Yeah. All right. So that's good. So on to other things. What is
How is
next?
oh, um like me, or you just like talking in general?
Either one, both.
I was gonna ask you, like, how is your season going? Like, have you been pairing, or like, do you have snakes that are developing?
Yeah. So I'm doing a couple hybrid pairings right now. My high end girls are not ready yet for the ball pythons. So I've got an OD, I've got a OD dreamsicle that didn't go last year. And so I'm swapping out two males. I'm doing a tri-stripe male. I've got an OD blade tri-stripe male, and I've got an Angolan. And so I'm swapping the two out, see who wins. Either way, it's going to be good for me. I want to put some tri-stripe in lavender. We'll put some lavender and tri-stripe. Which way do you want to call it? You want to call it lavender and tri-stripe or tri-stripe and lavender? You pick it.
Either way,
Is one more
I don't work.
reflective
I
than
don't
the other?
work. I don't work either. So I don't even know how would call them.
Yeah. Then the tri-stripe male is going to. He's a het clown, so he's going to one of the proven breeders that I picked up early. So she is a leopard het clown. Something else. I forget what else is in her. I have to go look at her card. And so that's pretty much it for right now. The other lavender girl, she laid later, so she's not ready this year. So I'll just keep feeding her and I'll hold off next year. Next year I've got quite a few girls that will finally be ready. So I'll be looking at potential sunset clowns. Let's see, what else do I've got? I've got a lot of OD red stripe yellow belly girls that will be ready for the tri-stripe. So I'm going to get all that together. I really like the color and the pattern of the OD yellow belly red stripe. Yeah, I've got quite a few things going on. I've got the burn ball. I'm pairing her with a blackhead OD Cypress het clown male. She is a bamboo. I'm not a big fan of bamboo, so I'm trying to put something else in there that is a little bit darker. And I love OD and everything, so I think OD and that will look pretty nice. And so if I get some 75% balls out of that don't have bamboo, I'll hold those back and I'll breed them to my 50% dwarf perms when they come of age. So I got a lot of stuff growing.
Are you gonna
That
talk about? Go ahead.
pair of Angolans, they've already locked. So hopefully I'll see something later this year if everything works out.
And are you making Angolans to hold back some, or you're making them primarily for sale?
I'm going to hold back a few. I would like to breed my own line of Angolans. I really like the lighter colors. The northern Angolans are a little bit lighter in color than the ones in the more southern range. And so I've got one that's darker Houston line, and then the rest are a little bit lighter. My one female is really light. She's lightened up quite a bit. So I want to try to breed that, see if I can get some lighter color Angolans hatched out. So I'll hold a few back and then sell the rest.
Cool.
So I mean, they're my favorite snake. To be perfectly honest, it's a toss up between them and the Royal Angolans or the Angry Balls.
Do you want to talk about your new project, or you're gonna keep it as a secret for now?
Which new project? You're gonna have to give me hand signals.
The black and white, the one that you told me that you're getting sooner than later. Another species.
Oh, black and white. Yeah, I should have picked up on it. Well, if you just said iridescent, that would have been.
Yeah, but then I didn't want to give too much information. Just like if you wanted to keep it under wrap right now and then make the review when you have it, or
yeah. I mean, it's no big secret. I mean, I'm working on getting some Bolin's pythons. So that's something that I thought I would probably get into a lot later, down the road. But looking at time, I'm 50. And so what if I get them now, I'm 57, before I'm really seriously considering clutches. And then on top of that, they've historically been hard to breed, at least in the United States. And doing research, talking to folks in Europe that have bred them successfully, repeatedly, I don't think we have the right information here. And I think that there might be, how do I put that? I don't think they're any more complicated than any other Python, right? You have a set of parameters, temperature, humidity, daylight, right? Meal cycling, depending on the species. Those are all still the same inputs. They're just different variables. Incubation is typically 88, 89 degrees for most of what we typically breed here. It's not the case for Bolins. Breeders have said they incubate at 88 degrees, but they get 16 eggs and they get 2 hatchlings.
Yeah, it was actually was I don't follow snake discovery a lot, but I saw on a thumbnail that they have a pair of black-headed pythons, and they visited actually a facility of a breeder, and there are very different aspects. Like, we're used to submerge ball python eggs into water, right? We keep the humidity at 100%, and he was explaining that it has to be actually fairly dry for the black-headed pythons. I mean, you could guess Australia, right? So he puts actually like dry perlite on top of vermiculite, and he just lays the eggs on top of it. And he's incubating in like styrofoam coolers inside of the cooler. So it's very interesting, and
Is he
he has to
managing the
do.
temperature or is he just leaving it?
He mentioned the temperature, but I was doing something else and I didn't pay attention. But it's not the same temperature as other pythons. Another thing that was interesting is that it's almost like boa breeding. So November he cuts off food and he start feeding back in March, and they leave the male with the female for the entirety of the 4 months.
Yeah.
And he just like register the locks that they have. So it's interesting to hear about other species. I was not versed in black-headed pythons at all, so I like to watch different stuff on different species,
Yeah. I mean,
especially because.
you just have to find what the parameters are. I mean, after that, it's just, systems engineering. It's making sure you stay within each parameter and, voila.
And most
Each,
species are very tolerant because nature, right? You can't control everything, but there is, as you said, there's a minimum that you have to follow, so you are successful. And so with Bolins, most people get eggs. They actually breed, and they're not being able to hatch. Is that what's happening? I haven't followed.
so, so it has been fairly easy for folks to get locks. I would say a little bit more difficult for those females to develop and lay. And if I had to put a number on it, I would say a little under 50% of the folks that get locks end up with clutches. They seem to reabsorb quite frequently. And that might be due to some environmental factor that we're not paying attention to. I have a few theories on that, but they're not fleshed out enough to really mention. And then the guys that do get clutches, from what I can find out on the internet, which I'll be honest, I can't get anybody to really talk to me about them. They're incubating too high a temperature. These snakes rarely see 85 degrees where they live up in the cloud forest in Papua New Guinea. And these guys are incubating at 88 degrees Fahrenheit. And so my question is, why the hell would you incubate at 88 if 85, for example, is a really hot day and that's a transient temperature in and of itself? So my theory is that incubation temperatures are way too high, and you get a few snakes out of a large clutch that end up hatching. Hatch rates might be a lot better at lower temperatures, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. Because the herpetologist that goes over there quite frequently, Ari Flagel, I think is his name. I mean, he's temped the eggs with the female wrapped at 74 degrees. So why would you incubate at 88? I mean, that data point alone, one data point, that data point is very valuable because it was a female in a den on the eggs, 74 degrees.
Yeah, we should follow what is done with geckos. I think will be more successful. Maybe if your room is warm enough, not even put it in the incubator.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is that the temperatures might be too warm for the males to have viable sperm. And so that's why the female tends to reabsorb quite a bit. So that's the other thing. I mean, these snakes go through, if I remember correctly, throughout the entire year, they go through large temperature swings between night and day. We're talking 75, 80 degrees during the day, 50 degrees at night.
Yeah, yeah, and what people will take into consideration, they say, oh, you have to keep your males at a lower temperature or you're gonna cook the sperm. That's true. But if you have a smaller tub and your temperature is constant at 90 degrees, for example, it's very unlikely that she's going to develop follicles too because it's too warm.
Yeah.
One time on my lower rows of my rack, I usually have to leave the temperature at 100 degrees on the thermostat to reach 90 because it's concrete floor, so it's very very low, very cold at the bottom.
Right.
And I forgot to change um, when um, when summer came in. It was still 90. It was not hot. I once in a while I temp my tubs, and but she's lugged out because it was too hot. It was too hot. It was not, the temperature was too high for her to mature the eggs, and so that was my mistake.
Well, I mean, that's why they bull wrap, you know? And like my OD dreamsicle she's notorious for sitting on heat, and she's been at the front of the tub for 2 months, like exclusively at the very front of the tub. So and she's developing follicles. I mean, I am in a cycle, and it's interesting because you talk to different breeders in different parts of the country, and their seasons are like always different. Like my season doesn't even start until March. Like if I go through at the beginning of March and I ultrasound everybody, I am lucky to find anybody at 10 millimeters. But I start pairing as the day gets longer, and everybody develops throughout the summer. And then I get eggs in the fall, right? October through, I got my first clutch in October, my last clutch in December, in late December, New Year's Eve.
it's
So,
funny because my latest clutch ever was December 31st for the year, right?
yeah,
People say that they breed all year long. I tried, but none of my females will build. Like, it's not that I don't try. Like, every single month is like religion. I ultrasound my females that are up to size, or if they have laid on the last 6 months. After 6 months, I start ultrasounding after 6 months after they lay. So I start like keeping track just to see how their
yeah, that's
development is.
exactly, yeah,
A lot of females don't breed. So I usually get my first clutch in January. And then they hatch in March, just like they hatch.
right.
And my last clutches usually are like October. My latest one was December 31st.
So do you
So
have natural light? Can natural light get into where you have your snakes?
none of
Non-natural light.
what I do is I kind of use the lights, the artificial lights, in a season cycle, right?
Mhm.
So I have them hooked up on Wi-Fi. It was interesting because the breeder of the black-headed pythons does the same thing. So I have it on Wi-Fi, and as the sun comes up, the lights turn on by itself, and then as the sun goes down, unless
So
I'm plenty,
yeah,
then they
so
have
yeah,
to.
I do the same thing, but it's interesting if we're on the same cycles. Although you're in Georgia, so your winter days are going to be longer, and your summer days will be a little bit shorter than mine, right? Because I'm up, almost to Canada. But yeah, so I have my lights on the same thing and the dawn to dusk cycle, and that varies throughout the year. That I'm a firm believer in just trying to mimic as much as of nature as you can, although they're equatorial. However, I mean, you do have some seasonality. I mean, there's a reason why we have the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, right? I mean, you do get, a shorter daytime cycle with rain in the winter, and a longer daytime cycle with drier, less humidity in the summer. So,
And there is
um,
a reason why I have a curve. Like my clutches are like this. Like the March and the October, November are the outliers.
right.
Plus, December was hatch day, just for you to understand. So the last clutch that I had was October, like late October, for laying. But usually it's July, August at the most when I have my last clutch laid for the season. But
Wow.
the majority of them are I usually lay between May, June.
See that? So that makes sense to me because the hatchlings are being born in spring, summer, when food is technically abundant, and mine are being born in the fall to winter.
Do you think you're gonna
And
have any changes being in a new house with different temperature gradients or?
yeah, I mean, I already see big differences. I mean, one of the things that I talked to you about before, and this is, not related, well, related to snakes, but not directly, was my ASF production. So I had let the room get colder and I wasn't paying any attention because, you're in the middle of moving and everything else. And my production went to zero.
Yeah,
And
ASFs are very sensitive to lower temperatures when it comes to breeding.
yeah, and so I was in like the mid 60s, which I mean, I talked to some people and they're like, yeah, that's still fine. But what I've read is that, you want to keep it at 75. Once you start dropping below 75, production starts to wane. And I can't say for certainty that that's the only reason because there are a couple of things that I did at the same exact time. And I wish I had thought about this because I'm paying for it now. I have to drive to Boise to get ASFs and restock everything. Um, I switched their food at the same exact time. And well, I don't know why I did this. I got in the habit of leaving the light on in the rodent room just all the time. I'm a big proponent of day and night cycling for the snakes and never gave a thought to the nocturnal rodents that I'm trying to breed.
Yeah, you're basically screwing up with their hormones.
Yeah.
So, but why did you change the food just out of curiosity?
So I'm always trying to find the highest protein, highest quality, best bang for the buck. A lot of people are like, why do you feed them dog food? I feed them the high end dog food, 27, 30%. dog food. I try to find, holistic organic ingredients. My thought is that if I put a lot into the inputs, high quality food, right, I'm going to get better clutches, things like that, yada, yada, organic, all that stuff. Um, and so, I mean, I haven't had enough. I mean, I won't have any data to say that it works or that it doesn't work because I've not bred snakes outside of having doing that with the ASFs. But I mean, may eventually I end up with average clutch sizes that are larger than the average breeders. Maybe I don't know. I mean, we put a lot of effort into eating right, as a family, and it was actually my wife's idea. She's like, we're always worried about GMOs and crap in the food. Why are you going to go and buy like crap food for the rats that's mass produced? I was like, you know what? That's a really good point. I mean, I might as well invest in the inputs for the food. It's still cheaper for me to do that, raising them myself than buying them. I still buy them and cycle through just so that I've got options, right? So if I have something like this where my ASF production drops, I can give these guys frozen thawed and, it's not too much of an issue. I have outliers. It's weird. I have a few that won't take frozen thawed and I have a few that won't take live, which is weird. Not them not taking live, but it's
Every animal is different. Some animals eat better in bigger tubs because and some animals they want to feel comfortable, but you get to a point if they're too big for the tub, what's going to happen is that the snake is going to it's going to feel that they're trapped in a corner. They don't have the safe space. So you have a hatchling that is growing and it kind of outgrew, but you can hold it a little bit in that tub yet because well, whatever, you don't have space or you're not feeling comfortable moving because you're afraid that it's not going to eat. You're going to put that rodent in front of their face and they don't have any
yeah,
space, they don't have where to go. So every animal is different. Like some animals I have to put hides inside of the tubs because they
yeah. I
like
have
the
to do the
hide.
same thing.
Even though, and when I take it away they stop eating, so that's what they want, that's what I give them. But
Yeah,
going back to the food, what people don't realize is these animals are going to be gut loaded. So the snake is not only eating the rodent, they're eating the rodent feed, because that rodent's not going to be fasting before you feed the snake. So the better food you give, the better nutrients the snake is gonna get, and that's the importance of the guts too. Like a lot of animals get sick when they go to zoos because they're not being fed like the big felines. Like they're not being fed the entire animal. They're being fed like chicken, and they're not eating the guts and the contents of the guts, which is important. Like if you see those animals in nature, they're eating the grass, they're eating the berries like wolves and stuff like that. So it's part of their diet. They're
yeah,
not going to be separating the gut contents and just eating the stomach and the liver and the kidneys and whatever. So it's some things that we don't think and we skip. So I think it's a very good point of giving a good diet to your rodents too.
yeah. I mean, that was another reason I wanted to stay small so that I could afford those inputs. Because the old adage, if you don't control your overhead controls you. So you get to a point where you've got hundreds of snakes, and then you're breeding your own rodents to support. I mean, you do this. You do like 20 hours a day sometimes. Can you with the rats that you produce? Could you afford to feed them the highest end stuff you could possibly feed them?
I could. My main thing is not. I do sunflower seeds and I do kalmba, the
Yeah.
23%. What I like about the kalmba is it has a little bit more moisture than
In
what's the other
Missouri,
one? Uh, say it again.
the Missouri.
Yeah, And after I fed them the comba, they didn't want to go back to. They were not eating the Missouri. So, and you have all the nutrients in there too. Like you have the vitamins, you have the minerals. Like I don't think I would be able to if I don't put like a vitamin complex. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to give everything they need unless it's like a very high variety.
Yeah.
I tried giving eggshells too with a little bit of egg, but they didn't like it that much. My colony, at least.
Yeah.
And the most important thing to have when you're breeding rodents is have a bunch of rodent traps on your rat room. I I had to do, and people don't understand this. So the problem is when you have escape and you haven't seen it. Sometimes you're like you have multiples in a tub and then you think one escaped but then actually like two escaped like the when they have the pups, right? Like so you have like a wean or a small or and you haven't seen that it jump out of the tub. So I had escapee and I didn't see it because I don't care like when it's escape and I see it I'm gonna lay and crawl on the floor until I get it. Like I don't let them loose, so I didn't see it. Next day, my wife was like, "I think we gotta chew out on the water line," and I was like, "Oh crap!" So I went in there. Luckily, the water container was very low, so it kind of like damped the shavings, but it didn't like overflow the tub,
Okay.
so that didn't kill them. Didn't. But the problem is, if you guys seen how the freedom breeder racks for rodents are, you have the feeder on you can put the feeder in the back, but I don't have room to be turning them to fill up, and then I cannot see it like when it's empty for the feed. Like you have
Right.
the troughs for the food. So what happens is the water line goes in between the food. So when you have a chew out, not only it's gonna flood the tub, but basically the whole feed turns into clay, like or like a freaking podridge or like whatever you want to call it. And then you have to scoop that thing off, and then you have to get like a brush to take it off, like that paste, and it takes like took me an hour to clean that thing, one tub. So
So,
I reset all the traps and I got him.
so another reason not to get too big, at least for me, is so I hate filling the rodent waters, but I will not go to a watering system just for that risk.
But think
So
about
everything
this.
I have has a big water bottle. And so every day I go and I refill all the water bottles. Like that's like my biggest thing, right? As I go through, refill all the water for everybody because I know, it's always, you always automate the tasks you dislike the most, right? In order to prevent burnout. But, in this case, I don't want what you just described.
How long does it take? How long does it last? The water bottle.
I
Like
do it every day.
if you don't change it.
Oh, if I don't change it, probably 2 days.
So that's my point. It can work. I could never do that because of the like be
The
filling up
scale.
like that would be 30. The other side is two per, so it's 36, 72, 200 water bottles. No, thank you.
Yeah, that's,
But how do you go on vacation?
say it again.
How do you go out for vacation?
I don't.
That's my point. Like my limit's 1 week. Vacation is 1 week because I don't clean before I like the day before I go on vacation. So like I clean the day before and make sure there's no escapees. and I have like temperature tracking on my phone and stuff like that. I have an emergency contact just for like if something is like crazy,
Right.
and I fill up the troughs like with food, and I can be like no issue. 1 week I can be out. But if I have water bottles, what I'm gonna do? Like I don't have anybody that I trust that is gonna be taking care of the rodents, and so I
Yeah.
clean
So
everything before I go on vacation. I clean every snake, like every rack, water changes, everything, and then I can leave for a week, 6 days. And usually my vacations are not the full week because I don't like to come back and just like go back to work. I like to
yeah,
have
you
one
want a
day
day
to
to
decompress,
recover.
and so that's what I do on
Yeah. So
that.
we're going camping here in a couple weeks. And I think we're going to be gone for 3 or 4 days. We're taking the trailer and going up, and with some friends coming out from California. And I'm like, I got to figure out my water and food situation here. So,
My advice is buy a bag of kamba, because it's the big pellets, right? The big like
yeah,
little, like the corks, and do a water system just for like you don't have to put a ginormous container. Like you put something that, let's say you put 3 or 4 inches of water in a bucket, and then you put the water lines like in the different cages just for that time that you're going to travel, and that's it.
yeah,
Because it's either that or you can't leave, right?
yeah,
So, and it's pretty cheap. I would say that if you're not going to use you either have to get the clips for the nozzles, or you have to get like a cotter pin. But I don't trust the cotter pins because like rodents are smart and they end up like pulling it off. And that's one of the things too. If it's not secure, completely secure in place, what's gonna happen? Sometimes they push it out, and that little nipple is gonna be like touching the bar, and it's gonna be constantly dripping.
yeah, yeah.
So
So
like you have to
I've
have
got
some.
I got the vision cages, and I got all the water line and fittings. They're all the brass fittings, and I've got all that in a bag. I just elected not to ever set it up. So I mean, I think last resort, that's what I'll do is I'll set it up, get a big 7 gallon bucket, and fill it half full or whatever, and hope nobody clogs it
I
up or
mean,
whatever. And
if you don't have a, because floods don't happen when you, either you have like worn off nozzle or nipple, whatever you want to call it, because the inside you have the gaskets is like a very old one. So I tend to replace every 2 years. I replace everything, instead of replacing the gaskets. I just buy new nozzles, and that's it.
yeah,
uh, or they chew off. Like they're not gonna be constantly leaking if they're new. Like after you adjust them, is very rare, very rare.
yeah,
It happened to me like probably once, because my stupid ass didn't. When I bought the new nozzles, I didn't check if they were like all the way screwed in.
hmm,
So they came loose on like during shipping or whatever, and then they started leaking. Always test that, guys. When you install it, just make sure that it's not leaking before you put the rodents in. But that was my mess for the other day, cleaning up and trying to catch. And the problem is I have a lot of things that is stored in the rodent room. So I have like a L-shaped table where we do the assembly, like um, for the new bedding. So my wife
right,
has like she has like an assembly system, and she has like the pallets, the shaving, and the sunflower seeds, and she like put different, like, and then she stacked them up. And so what happens is after everything is assembled, you can't pull that thing. Like it's a tower of I don't know how many tubs, and then it's super heavy. You're gonna break the tubs if you try to pull it. So they hide behind it. If you have escapee, you can't be like, it's not like a, and that's my goal for the new facility. And I'm thinking of something when I'm working on it. I'm kind of gonna make like a little pen around where I'm cleaning. So if they fall on the floor, they're gonna stay in between, like maybe like a 4x4 or 4x6, something that I can
Right.
disassemble. And if they fall, they're not gonna be like running around. So, or I'm gonna do something like underneath the racks that they can like go behind it. I don't know yet, but I have to figure out something because sometimes the tubs explode, as I say, or it's like popcorn. Like you open that tub and it's just like it looks like a waterfall. And I prefer to clean rodents during the day because they're more lethargic. When I clean late at night is a nightmare. I sometimes I tell my wife like let's stop because this is not gonna like by the second tub when you see like they're popcorning out of the thing is stop. Like
Yeah.
this is not working.
So that's another reason I went with the Vision cages because I can take each one and I set it in a great big huge bin. And then, I have a bin big enough where I can put the two next to each other. And so I can transfer from one right to the next one, right? So I get the other one ready, transfer everybody to that one, then go put them back. And then I clean the old one and no issues whatsoever. Yeah, because I didn't want to have to. I was watching that. I was actually watching. I think it was a Rice Reptiles video, and they were going through and like doing their rats, and I was like, man, they got to be jumping out all the time. So I don't.
And the
That's
problem is sometimes you open like I used to have the wooden build with the cement tubs. And sometimes what happens is as you open the tub, they turn back where the foot is and they go over it and then they grab like the wire mesh and then you're just like trying to it's like no, like I can't do it. But changing subjects really fast. Did I show you the difference that I had on two of my hatchlings with the same genetics? And I know it's the same genetics because there's nothing else in the pairing. The pairing was a black pastel hypo had clown to a banana clown had hypo. So both of these animals are banana black pastel hypo clowns, and I don't
Let's
know what
see.
I don't know what's the deal with this, but I'll show you one first, and then I'll show you the other one. It's crazy what's happening, and the more she grows, the fader she gets, and there. So I don't know if you can see it, but
Yeah.
this is one, and
So
I'll
what was
put the
this
other
pairing again?
ones. Was a black pastel hypo head clown to a banana clown head hypo.
Okay.
And I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell the difference, but look at
Yeah, I can
this.
see the difference.
It's insane. It's insane. She's like really, but you can see the banana,
Yeah.
but it's super faded.
Yeah, almost blue for the one in your left hand.
Mm-hmm. I
That's
don't
what I
I don't
said.
know I don't know what's
Well,
going on.
you have the same blue in both, but the one in your right hand is just, you've got a lot more orange.
Yeah, almost I don't know, like it's weird. And the more she grows, like the more fading she's getting compared to this one. There's like super orange and
Yeah.
because the grays are almost the same. Like this one is a little bit more milky, like
Yeah.
faded, but the yellows and oranges are like completely faded. And there is like nothing else in the pairing. And I have another one to let's see. Uh, these are the females I have. Let me put this one back before she escapes. Oh God. and the mayo is very close to the other one, so it is a little bit lighter, but it's the same thing.
Oh yeah,
So I don't
yeah.
know
That is
what's
interesting. You got something weird going on there.
I don't know what's the deal, but it's very different. And this is the time of the year that I start getting dry out of content, because you don't have clutches. So I think what I'm gonna do for the next episode, I want to be consistent again. I kind of slack, just because
Yeah, we've both
life
been
is
pretty busy.
life. But I want to be consistent, like on a weekly basis, and I'm gonna start showing my holdbacks, just like part one, part two, part three, while I'm getting the clutches until I have something else to show. I have some other like cool stuff. Let's see if this is the one.
I'm sure you'll go through your methodology for why you're keeping your holdbacks.
It all depends on. Sometimes I always do this. I hold everything back, meaning everything back, until I figure out, like, I don't let it go before I'm certain that I'm not going to have a use for my projects on those
Right.
animals. Sometimes I hold it back for too long. For example, I'm releasing some holdbacks right now, 1,000 gram animals, because I'm thinking, for example, I'm going to release two pairs of triple hat lavender hypopides, because I'm not gonna work lavenders anymore. So why am I gonna keep them? Like, let somebody, and both of them are gonna have enchi. Like, one pair the male has enchi, the other pair the female has enchi.
Hmm.
And so what I'm gonna do is just like let somebody else work the project, and it's gonna be a nice size because the females are over 1,000 grams. But what I do is like I hold everything that I think that I'm gonna use, and then I decide if I think I'm gonna try to cut it shorter. I just don't want to regret that I let it go an animal that I'm gonna need, or let's
Right.
say that I saw, because some people say, oh, you have to hold back your females and buy the males. Depending on your project, you're not gonna find a male. Like, if you're working, like, depending on the double recessive that you're working, you're not gonna. Uh, how many monarch tri-stripes are you gonna find? Like, to breed back to your females, I don't think you're gonna be able to. So you have to hold back the double heads.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Uh,
that's the plan. I got to hold them all back.
So, and you don't want to hold back one male, because if that male don't breed, if that male dies, or whatever the reason
Yeah.
is, you want to be able to have another one.
Yeah. I mean, I'll have to make room for. I mean, it'll be a minute, but I'll have to make room for all the hats.
Dude, I love this thing. Let's see. This is and my line of chocolate is super dark. This is a OD chocolate spot nose DG. And the good thing about having both is because they're lilac, so you don't get any normals on your pairings.
Yeah.
Mm. You like OD? Let me show you this. This is how do you say? This is project material. This is not, it's not as super pretty as this, but this is OD Inchi double hat ultra male pie. and I'm working dark stuff too. So this year, I'm hoping I'm pairing already. Hey, what's going on, bud? This year, I'm hoping that I'm gonna get an ultramel, um a blackhead ultramel pied. So I have a ultramel pied male being bred to a blackhead double het. So luckily, I'm gonna hit one. I don't know, but if I can hit at least like um a visual that is hat or something like that, that would satisfy me. But then I'm thinking like if I get like a male that is a black hat ultra male pied, I can put back to
Yeah.
this females, and then like you start mixing the OD with black hat, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
Um, it's a shame that black pastel doesn't work with pies. It's such a shame that you don't have much pattern because I love the interaction with. An ODYB black pastel. It doesn't have to have clown or anything. It just looks amazing to me. If you add hypo to it, then let's see if I have it here. Here, this is just a black. This is just a black pastel. This is just a black pastel hypo clown. Look at the colors, and it's faded. This is orange. Like it's not. It's showing like a rust orange. This is super orange.
Yeah, that's
So
pretty.
if you add OD and yellow belly,
Oh
ooh.
yeah.
So that's what I'm saying by hoarding and holding back more than like this season I held back six hypo clowns with different incomplete dominance, like and this is only females, and I held back one male, that is that one that I showed you, the banana black pastel hypo clown. um what else is cool?
She's gonna make me get up and get a few of my snakes.
Of course. Oh, I love this girl too. This is I don't know if this is my favorite from last season, but it's top three if it's not favorite. This is the black pastel monarch, like a simple black pastel monarch. So I can't imagine like putting with other stuff on the, like with clown and other dark stuff. Yeah, I love how she looks, and she's a little bit darker. No, let's see, she's more orange, not more darker, like in real person.
Yeah, it's good looking.
Yeah, I know, and I haven't even showered today.
So here's what I've got for blackhead right now, or one of my blackheads. So this is blackhead,
Nice.
yellow belly, desert ghost, at cryptic.
Yeah, I love dark
So
with
he's
desert ghosts.
yeah, he's 700-ish grams.
If you start
So he's
pairing him,
not yet. I haven't seen any sperm plugs, but
yeah, that's
he's a
what
good
people don't
eater.
realize.
He's growing fast, so I feel like he's a big toddler. So it might be a little early for him, but you kind of see where I'm going to go eventually with the tri-stripe, right?
Say it again.
So I said you can kind of see where I'm going with the tri-stripe. You get the idea.
No, that snake looks
One of
really
the
good.
directions, not counting the monarch. So yeah, he's good. Eats, hasn't missed any meals.
Is it? Just a second, Travis? Are you asking if I pair her before? She may be pregnant. Because let's see. Last year, she might have some returns, retained sperm.
Oh, hold on.
If you ask me,
Yeah, people can't read his comment. Here we go.
she may have some retained sperm, and I can tell you what was the pairing. If that's the case, that's her question. Yeah, I tell people like if I'm not gonna work that project anymore, and I'm selling the animal, I don't mind selling an animal that is like 15 millimeters, 20 millimeters, and if I pair, like if you get a clutch, I had a customer actually that got a clutch from a snake that they bought from me. So I'm happy it's the opposite. I'm team both. I prefer Monarch just because I liked the dark stuff, but I love Ultramel too. I'm just saying I was just showing some Ultramel project, so um, I like it too. But so how many clutches do you think you're gonna get like from different species this year? Like not counting ball pythons. Like if you're talking
If
about
if
hybrids,
everything goes the way I want it, and like I win the lottery, I will get one, 5 clutches,
well,
all hybrids,
all
not counting.
hybrids.
Yeah, no. You said no ball python clutches, so
No, I was asking like I didn't know if you're gonna have like Angolans or something like that. Are they not ready? The pure or
um, one pair is going to be is ready. We'll see what happens with those. My males are ready. My other males, so I've got a 3.5 for Angolans. Two males are ready. None of the females are. One female is ready. The other ones are not ready yet. So one clutch potentially of Angolans, one clutch making 25% burn balls, um, and then 3 clutches of F2. Well, 2 clutches of F2s if possible, and one clutch of F1s for the Royal Angolans Angry Balls.
and are you planning to if you get burn balls, are you is your intention to keep any?
Yeah, so I'm going to hold back everything that doesn't have bamboo in it.
Then you're gonna get
So
100% bamboo.
then I'll get 100% bamboo, and then I'll have to keep the least bamboo of the keep a couple of the least
It's
bamboo
it's
looking.
it's it's so big. I'm laughing because it's so funny how odds are. Um,
I probably
I
shouldn't have said
had
that.
I had two terrible odds with Ultramel, and then the last Ultramel to lay, she gave me 8 eggs, 7 Ultramel, and she was ahead. So you never know. Like I didn't get exactly what I got. One, I got a Pastavi Cine that is head for clown. Uh,
Oh wow, that's pretty.
but as I said, I like let's just as a like they have different complete dominance, but just like out of like I can't say that I like the this one better than this one. They're
Yeah,
both pretty, but I like the darker tones of some monarchs. Maybe I will split my projects right now. I'm working both on pies and clowns. Maybe what I'm gonna do is focus monarch on clowns and then pies with ultramel because to be honest, I like ultramel pies a lot. I think they stand out a lot. Maybe go. I never had hypos before with ultramel. Maybe try hypo. Like some people are against it. I like them both,
yeah.
with and without hypo. Portuguese pythons, they said they don't belong together. I think it's To me, it's similar to what you get from Candy and Candino. I like both. Like I like the brightness that you get, like the lavender tones that you get with the Candino when you add the albino to it. But I also like the candy. So I don't work any albino. I have some candy. I have some candy pies, and this year I'm shooting for candy clown pies. I have clown pie head candy to candy pie head clown. So we'll see. Like the odds are not horrible. So
Yeah,
it's like,
I've got a big pied male with none of the genes that you need. That I'll be selling him eventually. He doesn't fit in the plan anymore. He's blackhead Mojave Enchi yellow belly OD. I think he's a high end fella, Canova production, but he's like
is high white.
he's medium white. I mean, I'll get you.
I have to entertain people here. Yeah, he has a considerable amount of pattern. Say like probably like 50-50, or
Yeah, almost 50-50.
yeah,
I'd
because it
say it's
doesn't
still,
wrap around that much, right? Like it doesn't go down. It's more on the back, the pattern.
yeah.
He almost looked like the first Burmese pies, like that you didn't get like the whole. No, he's
Yeah, the color
pretty.
doesn't do the greatest on this camera, but oh,
Yeah, that's
he's
what you get
good.
when you pay $10 out of Temu for a camera.
No, I don't shop on Temu. This camera was actually, I did a Google, like, what is the highest rated webcam? And like this $39 camera came up, but I don't think it's the highest rated.
So do you just trust like what Temu tells you?
I only trust what China says.
Exactly. Oh, he's
So
pretty.
yeah, he's good. I wish I had more interest in pies. I mean, I've got the dreamsicle. I've got another lavender het pied. If he doesn't go anywhere, I might put him to the lavender het pied. That might not be a bad situation.
Yeah, I'm aiming for at least 4 pied clutches with one with hypo and DG, and this is just like not counting the candy or anything like Monarch or anything, but
Right. I can still hear you.
they're all gonna have OD because the Mayo is a super OD pied hat DG. So I'm aiming for double head DG, hypo DG on the pies. But everything that I'm making pie this year, besides the Ultramel clutch, the Ultramel pie, is gonna be visual pie because whatever I don't keep, I can sell like for as start breeders and pets because everything is gonna be OD, so they're gonna look good. I want to have some good quality pets to sell too because that pays the bills. Is that the one that you're sending me?
Yeah, this I'm definitely sending you this one for free. Now, this is one of the Sanzinia. This is Pierre.
Is that the male that you didn't want anymore?
No, he's well. I want them all, but I have a 3.2 and I want a 2.3. So I
No,
figured I would put one male
that's what
up.
I'm saying.
Yeah. No, this
Not
guy is
wanting is not because you don't like it. It's just because you don't have a use for.
yeah. But yeah, these guys are growing good. They know they don't ever miss meals
I
ever.
love the green tones.
Yeah, they're quite. They go through that autogenic change, so they're getting ready to go from orange to the more olive.
No,
They're kind of in a
it looks amazing. I just don't have time for, as I told you. I like tree boas more than pythons, to be honest. As far
yeah. I
as
don't know why you don't
as
have them.
Trav, I told you I have ADHD, and right now I got my system like, and I'm always improving, but I got my system to a T. If I add another species, it's gonna put a burden on me. I'm not gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna dread it
So you're going
because
to stay stuck with the species you don't like the most.
no, I like the most emerald tree boas. Is just not the time.
Yeah.
Is not the time. I'll have them eventually.
But
I'll
you're
have
like
a lot of them.
you're pushing 60, so you got to do something soon.
I'm 62 actually.
You get your AARP card?
Yeah, exactly. No, I'll eventually. I'm gonna have a bunch of emerald tree boas, Amazon basing only. But that's future. That's retirement project. So right now, I enjoy the ball pythons. I enjoy the simplicity of the care, and I have everything like dialed in. I sometimes I might change like a little bit on stuff that I do. Of course, you're always trying to improve, but husbandry wise, besides two sick females that I have, the rest is good.
Yeah.
I don't, to be honest, I don't know what to do with those females. They're sisters. I got a one clutch out of one, and I never got a clutch out of the other one. They're beautiful, but they have a big issue. Both of them are tub rubbers. What I mean by that is that they get their lip and if you open, that your snake is a tub rubber. If you open the tub and on the corners where you open, you see like a dirty paste, like almost like a little smudge of, because they're constantly trying to, and I put in bigger tubs, smaller tub, hides, not, and they do it so hard that like their lips just like, the first time that I saw, and I treat them many times and I save their lips, it's perfect cure. They both have like scars because they basically take chunks out of it because they keep pushing.
Yeah.
And I
The
check.
Angolans are like that when you put them in the tubs. And I have mine in tubs right now and I don't like it. That's why I'm building enclosures to get everybody into an enclosure. Because they're too active. They don't, I think they don't like the low ceiling. And so they rub in like the top of their head. So like I've got Athena in her enclosure, and she's all over the place all the time. Like she's never not moving.
Now I feel so bad for them because it might hurt. It probably hurts a lot.
Yeah,
And what I will try to do, I think I'm gonna treat, like one of them is like the lip is like this big, and I'm treating and giving antibiotics already reduced by half. So I want to find them a pet home because they're super sweet. Try to find a pet home that they're going to be in an enclosure. I think that's the only thing that I could think. But I can't get there before they're 100% healed, and they eat good. But I had to stop like feeding, like to treat, because you can't give antibiotics and feed at the same time because I give them oral antibiotics. And it's sad. It's so stressful because then you have to like be pushing stuff down their throat and put them in the incubator. I like to always put my sick animals in the incubator. They're not sick per se. They have a they have I wouldn't call it gingivitis, but one basically has an abscess on the, and I drained already on the lower jaw, and the other one is just like, it's like raw. So it got an infection because they keep rubbing. So I'm giving the antibiotics to treat it. But
Supplement some
uh,
colloidal silver too. It helps promote healing quite a bit, and it will
oh,
kill any surface bacteria or anything like instantly.
yeah, I'm doing iodine, like
Yeah,
just to kill the bacteria,
you
but
can
I'll
do
try.
both. The silver doesn't damage the tissue. It's non-irritating, and it's very inert. It just disrupts all the cellular whatever membranes or whatever of the bacteria. So
I'll try.
started using that on my dogs when they got cuts and things like that. And one of my dogs, he had stitches, and he popped the stitches, and it started to get infected. And so my wife, being a nurse, they use colloidal silver, in the hospital. And so we started putting that on him, and good Lord, that was just, it was insane how quickly everything started healing once we put that on.
That's
And so
awesome.
now, like, I have that anytime I see anything. Like, one of my girls got a mouth infection. And so I was, giving her, squirts, droppers of colloidal silver in her mouth. And I think I did it 3 times and it was gone.
And it's amazing how people don't talk about this, but if I if I would add all the issues, like health issues that I have with ball pythons, the most common is like lip infection because
Yeah.
they're in tubs, and people don't talk about it because they're afraid that, like, it's common, like they're gonna rub their mouth into poop because you haven't seen it. They're gonna rub their mouth on the tub trying to get out. So you just have to catch it early and just treat it. But it's very
Yeah.
common. They can get like a piece of cocoa in there, a piece of cypress mulch, and then you don't see it. And if you don't treat it, it's gonna get more serious.
Yeah.
But Trav, I appreciate you very much as always. But I had 2 hours of sleep last night, and I have to travel to Maryland tomorrow for work.
It sounds a lot like you're bitching to me.
I'm always bitching as much as I can. Like, and since my wife doesn't listen to me when I'm bitching, I have to bitch to other people. And I think you can tell by my face, like I already have sunken eyes, but like it's worse today.
You're pretty ugly, so it's really hard to tell when you're tired and when you're not. So, with that being
Beauty
said,
is in the eye of the beholder. I'm just looking for a beholder because I haven't found one yet that finds me pretty.
well, you're just lucky your wife's legally blind.
Exactly.
Did you watch any of these shows?
No.
Yeah, no blame her. So, well, with that being said, I'll let you get to it. And everybody that stopped by, or every person that came by, thanks for showing up. It's our fault for not having our shit together. So we'll see what we can do in the coming month. Don't expect consistency from us.
We will be consistent.
We'll be
Not
consistently inconsistent.
exactly. That's
That's
our
right.
consistency.
We'll do it when we are able, when life allows us.
Yeah, just like, I don't know if people know like that you got a new job, and I recently lost my employee. I didn't lose her, but she moved to one of our offices in Brazil. So a lot
Hmm.
of the stuff that she was responsible of doing here, I have to do it as well. Like she cannot physically do it here. So a lot of the traveling and stuff. So it puts. I'm gonna be at the Masters tournament next week. I'm gonna be in England the week after, and then 2 weeks after, I'm gonna be in China. So it's just like constantly traveling. So
Yeah, I
it's
think you need to cut the ball pythons back and just have 12 emerald tree boas in
I'll get
nice.
there. I'll get there. Just like right now is my brain would not take that very well. Even the boas, like it's completely different. Like I have the boas in another room. Like I have two breeding rooms, and then I have the boas in another room, and it's just a whole. It's a totally different husbandry because they're
Yeah.
enclosures and you don't have the assembly line, right? You get the tub, you clean, and you put it back. You get the tub, you clean, change water, put it back, and that's how we do it.
Yeah, you got to get out of that routine.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, folks. Well, Rafi, go get some sleep.
I will.
Until next
I
time.
appreciate you, everybody. See you next time. Dude,